Okay, Robert Kyle's not going to be with us today. He called late yesterday afternoon. His wife got a little problem. And anyhow, he's not going to be with us today. As far as the COVID report since Friday, Logan County has got 35 new cases, making a total of 2,101 cases. We've had 43 deaths, and 1,787 people have recovered. And we've got 271 active cases today as far as the health department report from Friday. It seemed like last week, as far as the governor's report, that it looked like maybe people were trying harder, and it went down a little bit last week every day, and I think yesterday we had a lower number than what I was expecting. But with that being said, sometimes Mondays are fuller days, and I can't exactly remember what the number was, but it was way down. I think it was either 12 or 1,600 yesterday. And with that being said, we need to remember all those people in our prayers, especially the ones that lost the 43 loved ones that live here in Logan County, and other people that's hurting in Logan County as we go to prayer this morning. And with that being said, I'm going to ask Nathan if he'll lead us in our prayer this morning.
Sure. Let us pray. Our Father God, we thank you for a beautiful day that you have made, and we rejoice in it. And today, as we've gathered together to discuss the business of this county, I pray that you guide this discussion, that the very best things will be guided by your wisdom and your spirit, that the very best decisions will be made here. And that, Lord, this county can progress in the way that you would have. We do intercede also for those who have lost loved ones in this time due to this terrible virus, this terrible plague. We do pray that you be the God of comfort in their lives. We pray also that you be the God of protection as well for those who might be at risk. We do pray for healing to come to those who are sick. We believe for good for this area, that all our leaders will have wisdom. We pray for our national administration that's taken office. We do pray that the wisdom will come from you, dear Lord, that you will guide the decisions that are made into your plan, we pray. And we just ask that in all ways we honor you with our lives, and we trust you for this, and we thank you today. And I ask this all in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Okay, let's call the meeting together with the pledge to the American flag. And Scotty, would you like to lead us this morning?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and I'd like to welcome everybody to Logan County Fiscal Court. I know this week I had a couple of contacts of people wanting to know how to tune in to Fiscal Court, so maybe we've got a few more people watching today. And want to welcome everybody that's watching. And is Jack with us this morning?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good.
Can you hear us, Jack?
I hear you. I'm good. Okay, first thing this morning, first item of business is the minutes from the previous court meeting.
Make a motion to approve minutes from January 12th meeting.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any question? Okay, not hearing any. Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crosley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is the bill list. I don't think we have a supplemental today.
Make a motion, we pay the bill list as presented.
Okay, we got a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, second by Thomas. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Yes. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business, Amanda, Treasury Report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In your folders, we have a budget amendment that we need to have the first reading of. It's ordinance number 21220-01. It is an ordinance to amend in unbudgeted receipts from the Commonwealth of Kentucky. It will increase revenue code 074503 federal grants reimbursements CARES by 866,736.33. Revenue code 044510 state grants by 1,500, which will increase expenditure code 045205 384 2020 spade and neuter grant by $1,500. And federal grants fund 079200 999 contingent appropriation by 866,736.33.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second on the budget amendment. Any questions?
Any restrictions on those funds?
Thomas, basically, we turned in payroll from the sheriff department and some from the jail on people like that.
Can you go all the way back to March?
Do what?
Can you go all the way back to March?
Yes.
Okay.
And we got awarded a smaller amount again, you know, because we had dispersed it all. Basically, what'll happen here, we'll either use this to start next year's budget and either continue to take a little money from occupational net profit like we had budgeted or planned, to spend in different departments, or we'll make a decision to go ahead and put it back where we spent it, and we won't, and we won't be transferring quite as much from occupational. It's the two choices, okay? And I don't have a breakdown on, what was the jail and what was,
But it's a reimbursement, so it shouldn't be any restrictions on it, because you're just being reimbursed through the payroll.
not unless we see something that says we gotta go ahead and do it that way. And we very well could see something. But regardless, it's money paid back to the county. It either, cut down on our expenditures from occupational tax, or we can use this to start next year's budget. Okay?
Thank you.
Thomas, the understanding I had on it from Karen, and she's still doing some work to check on it, is that whatever fund you requested the reimbursement from is the fund that it has to go back to. She's trying to get a little bit further clarification on exactly how you go about doing that. So we're still not exactly sure what all the details on it, but she is working on trying to figure that out as well. The next thing that you have in your folder is
It's
a
not
list
been,
of budget transfers.
not been voted on yet, Amanda.
Oh,
Okay, we need to have roll call. If there's no other question.
Davenport,
yes.
Crossley,
Jack?
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Okay, the next thing we have in your folders is the budget transfers, and we need to get those approved.
Make a motion, we approve the budget transfers as presented.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second on the budget transfers. Is any question? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
I do have two cash transfers today. We need to transfer $50,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the jail fund.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion second. Question. Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
And we need to transfer $10,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the LGEA fund.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Now, is there any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
And that's all I have for you this morning.
Okay, well, thank you,
Very
ma'am.
much.
Okay, road work request, Tyler.
District 1, continue maintenance. Appreciate everything, Paul.
District 2 is fine. Appreciate all you do. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I was looking.
Our District 3, same, just continue maintenance. Appreciate all you do.
District 4, same thing, continue maintenance. Thanks for all the hard work.
District 6, and some of this may have already been done with Paul, I called Kelly about it, but on Montgomery Road, had a phone call, about some various potholes, repairs. Kelly said he was gonna try to get some cold mix going out that way. I did ride it, and there was places they had mentioned, and I saw 3 of them. And she was requesting some shoulder repair in a couple of places. And I spoke to Kelly about it and said, it may already end up, just checking. Can you make mistakes for
Okay, y'all heard the road work request. Is there any question? We have a motion to approve.
They're keeping it.
Second.
Good shape.
Okay, got a motion second on the road work request. Again, is there any questions on any of it? Okay, not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, elected officials. Mary here? Okay, if Mary not here, Steve, you got,
Don't have much today. We've got a new hire, so I've got a personnel action request that I wanted to get approved, but I'll let her introduce herself. Well, I'll introduce her. It's Brianna Lyons, and she comes to the agency with 4 years of experience. She's TASER certified instructor, so she has a lot to bring to the agency. Of course, she lives here and from Logan County, so we're excited to have her. So she'll introduce herself a little bit.
Thank you, sir.
Like the sheriff said, I was born and raised in Logan County, and so I'm very excited and very thankful for the opportunity to continue to serve the community.
Glad to have you.
Where did you serve before taking this position?
I was at the city, Bristol City Police Department.
it takes a little time for this to go around. Everybody look at it.
I'm sure it's right, Steve.
I understand.
print this thing off.
Y'all had a busy afternoon yesterday, didn't you? Or a busy day?
It was. It was a little busy this morning. Had to fish one out of Coopertown Road.
Really?
I tried driving it.
Thomas.
Didn't make it.
Wow.
The wind was a little more rougher than I think people realized.
Was
I
that,
think a lot of that was because of the big gust of wind on the trucks and pushed them over.
was that camper on 6080? Was that in Logan County?
Yeah, just up between Champion and the turnabout, I think.
Alan?
Okay, are we prepared for a motion?
Probably need to see it for somebody. There you go. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the personal action request. Brianna Lyons, with 4 years of service with the Russellville Police Department and using the base salary schedule of LC-SO-1.
Second.
Okay, we had a motion and a second, and this is, you put the effective date in the motion, right?
Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry.
It'll be Monday.
Yesterday.
Effective date, January 25th, 2021.
Still second.
Okay, we got a motion, we have a second.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Jason.
All right, so any questions? If not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crosley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Welcome aboard.
Glad to have you, Brianna.
One other thing I would bring up, and we can do it at the end of the agenda, whatever. Derek's here with some communication to provide some informational update and talk about a few things. So we can do that at the end of the agenda, whenever you want to do that.
Okay, well, we can do it in report time,
Okay.
okay? Okay, Scotty, have you got anything? Okay. Okay, Department of Gender, you got anything?
Just want to let y'all know that we are all back down there now. We had a rough time for a few weeks, that everybody is over the coast and back to work.
Good.
Good deal.
Okay,
I know it's
well,
been stressful.
It was very stressful, very tiring, but
We appreciate you and everything you do.
thank you.
Okay, Nathan.
Good morning.
Morning.
In the core folders, I put in 3 recyclers that I inspected, as well as the transfer station hauler. Recyclers that I was able to get to this time are Logan County Salvage, that's out on Highland Lick Road, Randall's, which is out in Auburn, and Glistening Auto, which is a yard out on Homer Road. And the hauler is Clay's Trucking. And everybody checked out with what I've seen, and so I wanted to present those for approval.
Is this the only hauler that hauls out of that place up there?
That's the only one that I know about. I've tried to investigate to see if there's others, but so far I've not found anybody else.
What about the other ones out there?
All right, what do you need, just an acknowledgement on these?
Well, we need to approve them.
Okay.
One at a time, right?
In the past, I think it's been just a group.
Oh, is it a group? Oh, okay.
Probably do the hauler separate, maybe.
Maybe the whole separate.
I'll make a motion to approve the 3 permits for the recyclers.
2. No, there's 3.
Yeah,
Sorry.
3.
Don't listen to me.
Okay, you make a motion then to
Yeah, to approve the,
approve Glisson Auto,
Yeah.
Randall's Auto Salvage, and Logan County Salvage.
Yes, sir.
Hardwick Road.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a second on the recyclers. Is there any questions? Okay, not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the hauler's permit application for Dallas Jones Enterprise.
Second.
okay, we got a motion and second to approve the hauler's application. And we had a second. Is there any question?
And I'll keep an eye out if there's any more. That is $500 to the county that's owed, so I'll try to keep an eye out.
Okay, if there are no more questions, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
One other thing I wanted to mention, I was tipped off about another auto recycler. The address is 63 Shaker Museum Road, and I'm working with them to get them permitted. If y'all want to take a look at that and have any comments yourself on that, and that's right by the transfer station, actually. If you come in at the crossroads there, just off 68, it's right at the crossroads. It's been there, and I was tipped off that they were recycling parts, and so he needed, and he confessed he was doing it, so we're working on getting them permitted as well. And Jack, it's good to hear from you today. I just wanted to mention what you called me about yesterday. I'm working on it. And
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
the truth is elusive sometimes, I'll just be honest. I get guys that tell me different things, as everybody knows, so I gotta do a little investigating, but I'm working on it.
Nathan, the PI, I tell you what.
Yeah,
man.
that's
Thank you.
Get
That's
in there.
right.
You've been having your investigating work cut out for you, hadn't you?
I have. It's been for January, it's been pretty busy. Anybody else? That's all I had for now. And we have of course, the recycling center coming up in just a few minutes.
I appreciate you working on the
Thank you,
stuff that I
sir.
talked to you about.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
Okay, John, Ben, y'all got anything to report?
Nothing to report. We had just very
Okay. Okay, we're good to have y'all here.
Glad y'all made it safe back from Washington. One of you is from Washington, D.C., right? Yeah.
Yep.
Didn't have to do much.
They go to the right?
Okay, we'll move in to judges' announcements for the day. You got a thank you letter in your folder from Barron River Area Development District for fiscal year 2021 Age and Service Program donation that we contribute every year, that we paid that out at the last court meeting. There's information in your folder about fiscal court approval of the special government entities. If y'all will read that report, it gave me a little bit different interpretation on what our role is with special taxing districts. If you're more familiar with that than you are with special government entities. It looked like my interpretation of it, and I got Joe to read it too, they'll be allowed to take a compensating rate without a court's approval, but anything above the compensating rate, whether it's 4% or 2%, the fiscal court have to approve that increase. And that's your interpretation too, Joe? While we're talking about it?
Yes, that's correct.
Where's this at? What am I looking for? Important info on what?
That's basically just a breakdown sheet of
Okay.
what the law they passed. And essentially, when we first started doing this, there wasn't really a good role for the court to play. And then I believe in 2014, They made it to where you all didn't have any power other than to really acknowledge it, but it made a yearly report to you all. Now, the law has changed that if they have the right to take the compensating rate, but if they want to go above the compensating rate, you all can object to that and adjust it anywhere down between what they requested and the compensating rate. It also has a time frame on it, so if they pass it, it gives you all 30 days to take action on it, and if no action is taken, then what they requested goes into effect. And that would be with all of the people, my understanding, that we've previously been acknowledging their report.
Gotcha. Okay. I knew it was coming, I just didn't know.
I think Tom's referenced it a couple of months ago, just wanted to know who all they were going to.
So like, since we're going to be, I guess, playing more of a role in that, you know, like with the library or whoever comes and we acknowledge it, are we going to, like, have some time to look at the, you know, if they've got their budget, this is what it is, give us some time to look and see how we feel about it? I mean, do we get more information, or do we still just, when it comes, we get it?
They have to come up to get their budget acknowledged, and then they have to come back with a tax rate. They have to present their budget to fiscal court. And
Well, I knew we've been doing that,
but the understanding I had from that law, we were going to play a part regardless. But the explanation we got, if they're going to be allowed to be able to take the compensating rate without court approval, there's just been an acknowledgement on compensating rate. And anything above that, then the fiscal court will have the right to either accept or reject their proposal, or say something in between.
I would say, Tyler, I don't know if that answers your question, but my thought would be, it'll probably be somewhat on you all to follow that process through the year. If you want to be more informed, I think they will provide you that information, but the time frame within which for you to get more educated on it would be those 30 days.
Okay. All right. I just feel like if we play more of a role on approving a tax, only if it's above compensating rate, that we ought to, you know, really be able to dig into why, you know, and stuff like that, instead of just one day they come, here's the, you know, I don't know, that's just me.
We would just have to table it and get
just get the information or whatever, but
You could also, I think, be requesting that throughout the process.
Okay. And from what I can remember, I think they usually only do compensating rate if they do anything, but.
I'll say the previous law seemed to affect a lot of the outcry that we were hearing before that went into place. So my presumption is this being an even bigger guard against what set those into place, you all are going to see reasonable requests by them. It just gives you the authority if they're not. I think, like you said, I think everything, maybe for the last 4 or 5 years, has been the compensating.
Okay.
You know, so a compensating rate, in theory, should only produce the same amount of revenue that was produced by the real estate that was being taxed the previous year.
Right.
So it's really not an increase in revenue. And really, we've seen most of those percentages kind of just tick down a little bit because we've seen real estate go up, right? You know, the value of real estate kind of goes up just a little bit, so we see that factor or that rate kind of actually go down, but the revenue is the same. So,
Well, I think it takes in consideration of CPI, Thomas.
it produces the same amount of revenue. In theory, it's not an exact equation, but in theory, it produces the same amount of revenue that it did the previous year.
Yeah.
So if their rate produced, I'm making a number of $1.3 million, you know, they just kind of look at what the assessed value is in Logan County for this year and what rate needs to be applied to produce $1.3 million, and it gives the library board that rate. Here is your compensated rate. It gives, you know, the health department that rate. It gives, you know, Logan County Fiscal Court that rate. And so it may go up, it may go down.
Right.
It's really not a tax.
But this is what this deal is, if they ask for more than compensating is when we can either.
That's right. So really, if they're asking for any increase in revenue,
Right.
we are dealing with. And to answer your question, you know, at most you have 30 days, unless
Yeah.
we reach out to them and say, hey, we'd like to know a little more as the year goes along, being we're going to have to approve of the increase.
And I think-
I would say if any taxing district wanted to take an increase, a compensating rate is not an increase.
Right,
Anything above that would be an increase.
Right.
Regardless of what that number is, whether that factor went up or down.
Right.
It's not an increase in revenue. And I would just say, hey, if you're expecting to take an increase of any kind, I'd be reaching out before 30 days.
yeah.
30 days is really just 2 court meetings, and really it's just going to be one depending on when they pass it. Because when they pass it, may not line up with our court dates.
Right.
They do it, the day before court, the day after court, and you just have 30 days.
But you know what I'm saying, usually when we acknowledge them, they come and they have us a sheet and we look at it and, you know, and we acknowledge it. But if it's going to be ever a case to where they want more than compensating, I feel like I'd be more fiscally responsible on this body if I ask, hey, we need some more time and, you know.
Why would we make an increase?
Right.
I totally agree. That was my point a few months ago.
Yep.
We're going to have to now approve them. I want to be accountable for those in my serve and not say, yeah, I voted for that increase and this is why. You know, that's what I did, you know, we're building on and expanding and new staff and keep up with the payroll, you know, going up.
But since I've been on court, I can't remember them ever asking for anything above compensating, really.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, so probably won't even be a deal, but
I had a little bit of,
You did a little bit of.
yeah, I remember a very contentious meeting when we were still downstairs,
Okay.
but that was a long time ago. Obviously, we've been up here for a long time.
all right. Appreciate it.
Okay, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. We've received that last week, and there's 2 different ways, Tyler, to answer your question, I guess. For their health, they need to keep the fiscal court a little bit more informed, and maybe you'll see them at the court meetings a little more regular, a little bit later. And then you could check with them and maybe attend their board meetings, which I've done in the past.
Yeah.
Okay? I know the extension board usually meets at 7 o'clock on the first Tuesday of every month. And the library met last night. Usually show up that meeting and swear in new members or people that's going back on the board. Last night I was in Bowling Green at the Barron River board meeting, and Joe Ross won them for me last night. Okay? All right, the next thing, there's information from the health department on COVID-19 vaccines in your folder. This press release was really released over the weekend. There's 2 different ways that people over 70 can get on the waiting list. Now, this don't mean that the holdup is the vaccine. It's not. So you might be on that list for a while, and I would suggest to everybody that anywhere they can find a list that they try to get on it if they're interested in getting a shot. But this website that they released where you can get on the waiting list with Barron River is www.barronriverhealth.org. Or if you don't have a computer, they're suggesting that maybe you get somebody else to assist you on that online registration. If not possible, you can call 270-781-8039 and press option 1, and somebody should answer the phone. And you can get registered for, be on the list to be able to get a vaccine. And I put that in y'all folders in case anybody had questions and called y'all. I get several calls myself every day about the possibility of vaccines. The next thing, if you haven't already filled out that financial disclosure. We asked that you fill it out, and your financial interest statement for Brad. And we need that as soon as y'all can send it to us. We put it in your folder last court meeting. Okay, is there any announcements that any of y'all know that I didn't know?
Do you know about how many doses we get here in Logan County?
How many
Per
what?
week? How much of a lot, do we know how much allotment we get every week from the doses, or do we get them, or is it at Brad office, or do we get them?
Well, the Barron River Health Department, I went to a meeting last night. It's still pretty much undetermined. I heard on the news, you know what I'm talking about, that hopefully Moderna and Pfizer's going to pick up their production on vaccines. Last week we received, state of Kentucky, I think, received, and I don't have that number with me, 56,000.
56,000 a week is what the state of Kentucky is, but I just didn't know if we knew how much we get here in Logan County a week.
And this last week, I think Logan County Health Department received 100 doses. Now, with that being said, they're starting the second dose with a lot of the people that's had the first dose. And there could be just a very few possibilities of a first dose for the next 3 weeks because of the second dose, you know, that they're having to hold back for the people that had the first. If they don't, they've wasted the first dose.
Gotcha.
But hopefully, we don't know what to expect as far as the health department because the governor's trying to set up massive vaccination sites through Kroger. And then
February 1st, right?
Yeah, and then the federal government is working through several of the pharmaceutical companies to set up mass vaccinations. And with that being said, in this particular area, we can't, we ain't got the freezer to handle the Pfizer. And population plays a role in it somewhere. Now, I took that 56,000, whatever that number was, divided it by 120 counties. If you take the population out of it, the population plays a big part too.
Oh, yeah.
That was just a few over 400 for each county. But that's taking the Pfizer and part that we're getting in account, and not taking the population into account. You know what I'm talking about when I divided that by 120 counties.
I think January the 28th, was that that's this Thursday, right? They're supposed to announce how you sign up through Kroger. So if people want to listen in on that live stream, they're supposed to announce, I think, January 28th. He usually does a live thing at 3 o'clock Central. Will announce how people can sign up 1A, 1B, 1C through the Kroger program. So it might be something good for people to know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll be glad when that comes out. I would encourage people to get on a list anywhere they can. I've already heard this morning where maybe 4 of our people got vaccinations where they was on somebody else's list this morning.
That's good.
Okay, I wished I could promise the people out in the county more, but the problem is getting their hands on the vaccine more so than having people to administer it. Okay, is there any other announcements out there? Okay, we'll move into reports. We got Derek Wilson here with us this morning from Wilson Communications, and Steve, I don't know whether you and Ginger know enough that y'all want to come up too, or?
We just want to give a little information update. Derek's working every day just about. He's in communication with me or Ginger and figuring out the system. So again, his enthusiasm and drive is very appreciated. His passion to try to make what we have much better is moving forward well. He's got a few things he wants to talk about. It's his language, so I'll let him discuss it, but a few things that he has found and wants to work on trying to update, so I'll let him tell you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There's a few things with issues with the license we need to get worked out. I would like to meet with the radio committee about. Tyler's been working on getting the internet to the tower sites.
Get over a little bit closer to that mic if you don't care.
Tyler's been working on getting the internet to the tower sites for us, and we're working on getting some backup repeaters put in the county so we can work on the system. And that's all I have right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, now, when you're talking about that backup repeaters, what are you talking about there?
Backup repeater as far as the trucking system goes, if we need to do some firmware upgrades or something to it or work on the system itself, the county could use the backup radio system while we're working on the main one and still have communication in the county.
Okay.
Since you're here, you want to meet today, then
That's fine.
right after court or something?
Whenever y'all are available.
I don't know, is that cool with you?
Yeah, I can. Briefly.
Just briefly.
Yeah, briefly, yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Thank y'all.
I'll update everybody on what I've been with the internet. So EPB had to run some fiber to the tower site here in Russellville to get us internet there for him to be able to remotely monitor, which is part of our responsibility with his contract. I actually got a missed call from him a second ago, so they're probably wanting to put it in, finish that install. But also, I've been looking into figuring out how we're going to get each site connected more efficiently. Right now, it's using, unlicensed radio bands between each site from Russellville to Lewisburg to Auburn. So we've talked about and trying to work out a way, as in through the internet, to get those connections, those links faster and be more efficient. So I spoke with Logan Telephone, Greg Hill there, and I appreciate him getting some numbers together. So the route that I kind of would like to have gone, it's not the only route, what's that called a T-LAN. It's like a virtual VLAN across their equipment. It was around $1,350 a month. So, I just don't. Since there's another way to do that, we can do it across a VPN. It will require a little more equipment, but not a lot more equipment to make those connections work. And we'll just pay for internet connection at Lewisburg, pay for internet connection at Auburn through Logan Telephone. I think it was 50 meg each, and then 100 meg circuit symmetrical at Russellville Tower site, and then we'll set up VPN connection through equipment between those sites, and the internet costs with that is less than $400 a month. So, it's so much, we're talking nearly somewhere of $12,000 difference a year. So we're going to have to get some more quotes on getting a company to get us some switches and set that connection up. I am a little nervous that we don't have anybody that can, hey, let's go work on this. If something breaks on the switches or something like that, we need to make sure we have that in place, because we don't have anybody here that can do that on site in the county. We need to get somebody that has a good response time. But anyway, that's what we're working on. Like I said, internet should be there. I would think they're going to hook up this week for him to remotely monitor. And then, I don't know what y'all want to do, what direction you want to go with, the $1,350 a month or the around $400 a month for just internet connections. But then we're going to have to buy a little more equipment. Not a lot, but I don't know. I just kind of leave that open to y'all to discuss if you want to, or what direction you'd like to go.
So the $1,350 a month, though, there's no equipment and there's no update and maintenance to that equipment. For some reason, a piece of equipment's not working correctly, that is, there's responsibility of
So
that
there,
provider to make sure that that's working.
there's still equipment. We already have network switches in there that kind of makes all this stuff connect together. So we have equipment that's there today. But there will just be they will have to probably, we have to make sure we got some switches that have the capability of VPNing each other, connecting each other across the internet. So a secure a tunnel that's secure. And then each site comes in, then we have to also have some routing to path it out to the internet, It takes a little more configuration and a little more networking to do the VPN. But it should work. It should work close. It should work the same. But yes, the $13.50 a month, basically across Logan Telephones and Russell EPB's network, they make it all network themselves across their equipment. So they'll say something like Logan County ECC towers is this number, like 25, and they'll inside their network say, okay, 25, it's Logan ECC, and they'll make it all connect across their network, and we don't have to do any routing. Only routing we got to do, we take the end they give us, plug up to our current switches, but we've got to, and all we got to do is still have an internet connection at Russellville site so he can remotely monitor. So, yeah, it's less maintenance, less points of failure, I think, for $13.50 a month, but it's not the only option. With the VPN option, that's definitely about $12,000 less in service cost a year. But
What do you think we'll have in people and machines and networking because with the VPN, we're gonna have to have different devices.
Yeah.
And
I think-
you're talking way over my head, so I want you to know that.
well, I think less than 5,000.
Less than 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did talk to one company, just kind of get a little idea of what it might cost. I got a little preliminary quote when we were just talking about it, and it was a couple thousand. I mean, it wasn't astronomical. We had to get some more quotes, but
No,
I don't remember exactly what that number was, but it was less than 5.
Yeah, that $13.50 don't include the Russell part of it either, does it?
Yes, it does.
It does.
It does. I wondered that, and I clarified that it does include the Russellville's part. And all the billing would go through Logan Telephone. They would handle the billing, and we just pay them. And then they pay Electric Plant Board for their part. So, but I don't know, I can get some quotes on the equipment and installing and maintaining it. I mean, we could set up a service agreement with that company as well to say, hey, if something goes wrong, we want you to cover this for a year, and be responsible within 45 minutes or something, and you got to come down here and fix it or look at it. We could do something like that and then compare that cost with us having it maintenance agreement on the switches and equipment and the configuration versus the $12,000 additional costs on the service. We want to go that route.
I'm sitting here thinking if we gotta have a service agreement and we gotta have this extra equipment, we're gonna get close to the $12,000. But the $5,000 is probably at one time expense.
Right.
Or the other would be yearly
Right.
expense.
Well, I mean, and we're still going to have a little bit of configuration even with the $13.50 a month just to make it all work together. We still got to have internet connection at Russellville so he can remotely monitor it. So, I think maybe I'll just keep working on it, and I'll come back with some quotes on all options, with the equipment and with the configuration and what it costs. What kind of cost we got with $13.50 and what the cost we got with the, $400 a month and just internet and VPN. So I'll give y'all a cost comparison. But just want to let y'all know that's what we're working on.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate you working on that, Tyler.
Yeah.
You put a lot of time into this too with Derek. and
Oh, hey man,
I appreciate that.
Derek's the man. He's on it. I tell you that.
Okay. Thank you, Derek, for the report, and thank you, Tyler.
Yep.
For what you're doing. Okay, I'd like to introduce a guy. We got a special guest here this morning from the north end of the county. He was elected mayor at Lewisburg last election, and Matt Moore. Good to have you here. If you want to come up and say anything.
Thank you for having me, and like I said, I wasn't elected in this time. I was nominated after a previous vacant spot, nominated by the council, and I'm just trying to go around and know people and let people know who I am, and just meet everybody I can and learn different positions. So thank you for having me.
Nice to meet you, man.
Thank you for coming.
Yep.
All right, well, good to have you here. You're always welcome. And I went over a few things that the fiscal court has got in the budget, and most of it's the park down there on park improvements that we put a little money, do just a little bit of revenue sharing with the cities, and so he's aware of that. Okay, we'll move in this morning to old business, and that's discuss the proposals for hauling and selling of recycled materials received at the recycling center. And Nathan, I think the fiscal court wanted you to look at this, and I think you've studied it, and I've looked at them too. So I guess we're kind of due a recommendation. And I hope, of course, looked at all of them.
Appreciate the time that was given for that, and hope everybody got to look at what I sent. I did get to send that to everybody, and I also called a couple of the magistrates as well with it that might not have had the email access. And just want to know that we are taking this seriously, and it's been a tougher time with recycling and at the center due to everything going on, but we definitely want what's best for the recycling center and the most for the money. So we want to have recycling continue in Logan County, and we just looked at the 4 proposals that were sent to us, and one did stand out above the others to us, the ones of us that looked at it, and I put it in the little sheet. You know, my dad, of course, he did this for a good while, and he was saying none of these are really great. None of these are great proposals, just in honesty, that none of them give us really what we would hope for, but one is better than the others. And a proposal from a company called Planet Recycling down in Tennessee seemed to have the best proposal in our opinion. Of course, it's up to y'all. The reason we said that, and I noted some things, some positives, they charge no hauling fees as the others do, and the hauling fees would eat up pretty much whatever benefit you would get for recycling cardboard and paper. And for some of these, we might end up owing money, which would be a real shame with the work that's put in out there. And Planet Recycling, there's some other things that were positive as well. They had a good price on baling wire. The payment terms were within a month, it said, and so I thought that was pretty good. And the lady who is basically would be our representative did show interest. She actually came here a couple of times to the county, and I appreciate that. I appreciate somebody showing that they actually would come here and talk to us in person. And so Tim wanted me to mention as well, in addition, about recycling, is that the center volume right now is still pretty low. And without the inmates, you know, we hope to have those back at some point. It's not just yet, but he's doing the best he can out there, and we are having some folks from the drug court to come and participate with us, and that's helping some with the cardboard. What a drug court participant does with 20 hours a week out there, and we've had some help with that, and so that's helping some. But we still have a much lower volume, and so that's something that has made it a little bit more difficult with getting the better terms for us. I did note some downsides to the proposal that I say here is the best. They would not be willing to stage a trailer as Auburn Pallet does, and that is a concern. But I talked with Tim about it out there, and he does have a plan for it. We worked on a plan that we would stack the bales up basically on slats of board and just kind of have it where the forklift can still maneuver. We feel like there's enough room, since they also let us store it outside. We could tarp it and keep it stored around the center and still be okay without a trailer being staged. They won't accept paper boxes, but something, unless it's a full load. If it's a full load of paper, they'll take it, but that's not really possible at our center at this point. We don't get enough paper for that. But what was something in the terms that wasn't given on those sheets was, I talked to her, Becky, and Becky told me that if we put a small amount of paper in the cardboard bales, they would be willing to go ahead and process those anyway. And so I thought that was a way we could at least continue to recycle a little bit of paper. And as far as the plastic goes, no company had anything for plastic. That was something I was just put it in to hope, maybe hoping something might work out. But what I would have to do is just continue taking into Scott Waste at the transfer station some of the plastic we get and recycling it through that. And so our recommendation, and I apologize for the length of this, for me talking here, but the recommendation is to accept the plant recycling proposal. And we talked about it. It might be a benefit if we didn't have a contract with them just yet, since they didn't require one. And here's our thinking on that. There is another company that actually had a pretty good proposal that he went through with me, but he didn't actually get his paperwork in on time for this bid. And so that's on him. It's not on us, because we told him everything. But someone like that might be able to do something if Planet Recycling doesn't work out. Give them a trial for a few months and see how things go, and maybe not even necessarily get a contract just yet, and just see how it goes and evaluate it at that point. And and if it doesn't work out, we could see if this other guy would be willing to put in his bid at that point. And I do want to mention one other alternative that might be there. It's not something I personally prefer. Auburn Pallet, if none of these seem to work, Auburn Pallet might be convinced to come back in if there was no paper recycling involved. That might be a potential option, but I feel like at this point we probably could get a better, maybe more money, more from the recycling if we went with Planet Recycling. So.
Yeah, only thing you said maybe just a few month trial, and maybe the other person might have a chance to put in, but now that these numbers are, we put it out for bid, now the numbers are out, I don't know would that be 100% fair to the people that did put their bid in on time, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I thought right off the bat, but that's just me thinking out loud, sorry.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, and all that makes sense. We'd almost have to wait till next year to rebid it all together.
It will be probably, because there's a trailer out there now from Auburn Pallet, and it's being filled pretty slowly, it'd probably be sometime into the spring before we really could change over anyway. We want to give Mark a full load before we quit. And so it would be probably into the spring before any of this would happen anyway.
But this is really not a contract, though. We're not really locking in a contract, really.
You could if you wanted to.
What did we?
but you
What
have
I
to.
don't really think we want to, but you know.
What did we put out for, when we put it out for bid, did it mention a contract for?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't have that right in front of me how I worded it exactly, but I don't believe so.
Okay.
Okay, I've got the request for proposal here.
Okay.
Okay, Logan County Fiscal Court will accept proposals for hauling and selling of recyclable materials received at the Logan County Recycling Center on 1230 Morgantown Road in Russellville. For this proposal, we will need the following quotes: Gaylord boxes, 15-foot baling wire, either per unit or as the center needs, hauling of the bale cardboard boxes and office paper, boxes of mixed paper, with an additional consideration of plastic, number 1 and number 2 bottles, and regular payment of regular payments to Logan County from the scale to those recyclables. At the rate agreed upon both parties, special consideration will be given if a truck and trailer can be left at the site for storage until pickup. Those that are interested and have questions, please contact the Solid Waste Coordinator, Nathan Cockrell. Proposals can be mailed and hand-delivered to Logan County Judge Executive, 200 West 4th Street, or Post Office Box 365, Russellville, Kentucky, and must be received by January the 12th at 9 a.m. For fiscal court meeting. The fiscal court reserves the right to reject any and all proposals, or may determine based on the criteria that the best proposal may not be the highest proposal. So that's the way they had read.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
And Joe, I don't know how you feel, I mean, we were talking about a contract.
Yeah, with what Tyler was saying about his preferred bids, I mean, I think we're asking for proposals, and if we're kind of unsure on it, I think if we wanted to accept one of them on a temporary basis would be my thought, and give it a period of time. How long do you think it would take you to see if?
Yeah, I would, several months, I would want to give them some months to see. And of course, like I said, it's going to be several months anyway before we can get started.
Can you do a contract to where it's a 3-month contract with rearms of month to month for up to a year or something like that, or?
I think we could. I think at this point, my suggestion, if we wanted to do it, would be, he's saying a few months, so we do it through June 30th, and that way it gets us on the fiscal year, and then we can just rebid it.
Just rebid it, okay, yeah.
In June.
Okay.
The hope would be they do a great job and we wouldn't even have to worry about changing, but
Yeah.
So we do it like we do with others, where we do a 5-month contract with the option to renew for a year after that.
Okay.
Yeah, but Nathan's saying we won't even be able to use these guys for a couple months because of the deal we got. We're waiting on a full trailer load for March. So if we do it then, we might not be able to use them but for 2 months.
Might not be but one trip.
Well, I mean, Tyler said 3 months, so 3 months would be 2 months from now. So,
I guess the question, Joe, is, does the county have to enter into a contract period for a length of time? I understand there needs to be a contract that agrees on the terms of, what they're paying and how they're paying and where they're paying. But do we need to tie a length of time to that? If the answer is yes, there needs to just be language that we have the right to withdraw the contract and give it 30 days notice, and that would take care of that. So if you want a 1-year, 5-year, 10-year contract, write it up and put a 30-day, option
I
in
think
the party.
we definitely-
Cancel the contract in 30 days.
we definitely need a length of time in there, because they will always, not for the reasons we're wanting here though, but to make sure it's not too long. That's why you typically want a length of time in there, but on this one, I
Put a
think.
2-year length of time on there with the 30-day, the right to withdraw the contract, give it 30 days written notice, and that takes care of if they're doing a poor job or not performing, and we need to rebid it before the 2 years is up, or 3 years, or whatever y'all determine is an adequate amount of time. And that takes care of it, right?
I thought would be for just, let's do a contract that runs through the next fiscal year then, so we do it running through 2022 with an option to renew for a year after that. So basically what you're saying with that additional addendum that we can cancel it for whatever cause between that.
Yeah, sounds good.
The only big question I've got in this planning's proposal,
Yes.
they're not showing any fluctuation in the recycling market. You know what I'm talking about when they're saying they're agreeing to give $85 a ton.
that would not be what they would be agreeing to give. It would be kind of based on whatever the prices are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's been a volatile market. There's no question about it with
Yeah.
everything going on. So it could definitely come down or it could go up. We just
Yeah.
don't, it's hard to say.
Yeah. But that, of course, that $85 is due to today's price, or the day that they, and I wanted to make sure I explained that to the court, because that market has fluctuated all the way from, I've seen it close to $200 a ton, all the way down to $30 a ton.
Yeah,
So we would still be playing a volatile market.
Yeah, overseas, there's still several places that are really balky about whether they'll take our paper and cardboard. And, yeah, in 2017, the prices were really good, but then China quit taking our cardboard pretty much in the United States and, or cut it way back. And so that really caused the price to topple. And in 2019, we were still going full steam at our recycling center, and just because the prices were so poor, we made almost zero. It was very, very little that we made out there because of that. And it is up some now, but it is volatile.
Yeah.
Put that in form of a motion to accept the plant recycling proposal as presented with the terms of the length of contract as stated by County Attorney Bill Ross. It was going to be a end of fiscal year this 2021 term with an option to review for 1 more year. And also a withdrawal from the contract within 30 days written notice.
Okay, and then one important thing to be in that contract is the payment schedule to the county. You know, is one thing I say, you know, if they pick up a trailer, they ought to be make payment on that trailer, you know, in a certain amount of time.
What, payment within 30 days?
But you're saying we are accepting proposal, we're not like a trial running, we're accepting a bid, okay. But I don't want to really get into getting bids and then getting somebody else, you know what I'm saying?
I think you're accepting it, but it's kind of a trial run, but this Thomas wants termination clause.
Yeah, they're not even requiring a contract, we're just doing it for our protection. I'll second that.
Who said that? Okay.
What date are we talking?
June 30th.
2021?
Okay, we've had a motion, and we've had a second to accept the Planet Recycling's proposal and to do a contract with a 30-day out, right, Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And an option for 1 year.
and an option for renewal if everything works out good. So it's going to kind of be a test, and it's going to be a while before we can get started and even know what the test is. But anyway.
It's just a 30-day contract. You've got all that you want to do, you put that last time thing in, it's 30-day contract. You don't have to keep 30-day written notice, you're out of contract.
Okay. Okay, any other questions or comments?
I guess, Mr. Ross, I need to get with you on the actual terms, don't I? Just how I would draw that up, what I send to them.
Whatever their proposal was, give me a copy of that, and I will incorporate that into the contract with normal contractual language, plus the specifics you all said.
Appreciate it.
Okay, is there any other questions?
I guess in hopes that they accept those terms, you know, so I'm assuming they will.
Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
It's 2 comments. One, Tyler, that 30 days withdrawal works both ways.
Mhm.
Not just all.
Right.
So if they don't want it, you know, they give us 30-day written notice. So it's just a 30-day contract for each part.
Mm-hmm.
So it shouldn't be any sweat on there. You know, it's not behind the end to June 30th of 2026. If they don't like it, 30-day notice, they're done. I personally do not want to see cardboard sitting outside and talk. I would rather see this board buy a trailer, even if that trailer is not quote-unquote roadworthy. Obviously, they're bringing a trailer to get loaded up, okay? We need to buy a trailer that's decent shape, looks good, presentable, not a bunch of, you know, old, worn-out, faded paint. And cardboard sitting outside with a tarp on it looks pretty good. And we can afford a nice, used, decent, and I don't care if it's not roadworthy, if we're not going to transport it back and forth, we can buy one that's just simply good for storage, and there's funds available for that, and let's buy a trailer. Let's set cardboard outside.
And we might be able to have it where we store it all inside. That's our hope. I mean, if that's what the court chooses they want to do, then we'll work with it. But I don't know that it would make it particularly easier for Tim out there if there was a trailer that was not roadworthy, and we couldn't switch it back and forth. I don't know that would make it easier, but if that's what the court wanted to do, we'll work with it.
But if you had a trailer and you filled it to 90% capacity and you call the plant and say, hey, we're going to be ready for you in a week, give them notice, so they have time to schedule it and bring the trailer. And then there's only a few bells stacked to the side, maximize your operating piece, as far as space. Stacking cardboard, I've done that before in a warehouse, and it's rough on the walls. What happens is you get pushed, you take your tow motor and you rev up the engine so your forks will slide underneath it and you pick it up and, next thing you know, you've got a fork going through a block wall, and then block wall, in fact, buy a $5,000 used trailer, set it outside, and I think we'd be money ahead.
Okay. We'll defer to the court on that, how y'all want to do it.
I think we just,
Roadworthy, I'm fine with that.
I think all he's saying is, we don't want tarp and we don't want, let it look less junky as possible, I think is what he's saying.
Right.
So, we don't want a bunch of junk sitting out. I mean, I get calls all the time about people's, yeah.
You imagine if we all buy cardboard sitting out there for 2.5 inches of rain the last 24 hours?
I'm with you.
It don't look good.
Anything else? Thank you.
Appreciate you looking at all that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nathan.
Okay, the first item of new business today is the open bid for roof replacement at the ambulance service. We did.
Before you open that bid, I got a comment. You told me you did not receive one from the company who provided the ambulance service. I did back in November. So I called that company and said, hey, you turning in a bid today? And he's like, no, because I'm not, that's a repair and shipping panels, and I just don't think that's a good idea, and I chose not to bid. I was like, no, that's what bid last court meeting. You got an invitation to bid, mailed to you for a new standing seam roof. He said, either A, didn't get it, or B, he said, I didn't see it, but maybe my wife saw it, yada, 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 and thought it was the same thing and trashed it. I would love to bid it. I said, well, you got 12 minutes. And he said, there's no physical way that I can get that done. So if the court wants to receive that proposal, I would suggest, and you only have one bid, I would suggest not entering the bids and defer that. It's not an emergency. There's no emergency out there. Yeah, there's a leak or two, but it's not causing structural damage. It's just a little bit of aggravation. I'm never a fan of opening one bid, if possible. Unless it's
We can just table that until next court meeting.
I would table.
And that bid will be good for next court meeting as well?
It will, but I would contact him. That's a guy who's worked for us many times before that refers construction services out of Henderson. I called him yesterday, and he wasn't going to bid, and I kind of begged him a little bit. And he said, yeah, I need to bid. We've done a lot of work for y'all. I will provide a bid, so he did. And I hate opening one bid. It's not as much.
Yeah.
Quote or advertised bid?
So he said that this bid would still be good, or he would rebid?
It's an advertisement.
So you're gonna have to.
If I remember correctly, the bid document said your bid had to be good for 30 days. So it wouldn't matter if you don't open 2 weeks from now, we'll be within those 30 days.
Okay.
You cannot, if I remember correctly, the bid document said you couldn't draw the bid.
We just need to re-advertise it, and that way we can accept the other guys and confirm that guy wants to resubmit his.
And I'll ask him, I won't be fair, if he doesn't want it 2 weeks from now. Part of the way I was able to get him to bid was, A, the job's easy, simple, and getting cleaner than that. It's just a gable roof, wall pitch. And two, it's kind of winter months, and this could kind of go quickly. He had a lot of work coming up, but did have a window that he could perform an easy job. So
I'm good with it, if it was just a quoting process, I wouldn't have spoken up. I just, we can't give people more time to submit a bid, but I think.
Do you need to look at this bid document for any reason? Okay.
I would re-advertise it, is my suggestion, like Joe said.
So we need to reject the bid and re-advertise.
Reject for the fact that we only have one bid. And I'll put that in the form of the motion that we reject the one bid unopened, and then it says in the judge's position as an unopened bid and re-advertise it. And, you know, I would call, if you send a letter to that other company, I'm not sure exactly why or why not you didn't get that, but he's saying he didn't get it, but you'll call him, he will be, he told me on the phone.
Okay, well, we got his address, we sent him the information when we released the bid, you know, because everybody in the county not into this roof bid, I mean, this business, so that standing seam, and I think that's what we recommended for the bid. And so we reached out to him and reached out to the Furs because they've done business with us before. Matter of fact, they put the roof on Justice Center over there. Okay, we've had a motion to reject this one bid, to re-advertise, and try to contact different roofers.
I'll second that, but I have one question. Will McGee's Construction still be okay if we decide to repair?
I can't speak for him.
I know, but
I would assume so. I do talk to Brandon probably once a week, sometimes twice a week. And I'll specifically ask him, you know, but I know last one meeting, he was fine with that. I told him what we were doing, why. He said, that's fine, my bid's still good. That was obviously to this court meeting. But I'll ask him, based on the information and the reasons why he said it's good to be good, I was.
okay.
Okay, we need to have roll call.
Davenport,
We did have a second, didn't we?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Crosley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business, Lloyd Houchins, appointment to the East Logan Water District for a 3-year term beginning 1/20, ending 1/28/24.
1/8/24, and I put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to reappoint Lloyd Houchins. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crosley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to approve a bond on the Constable Danny Perry. That would have been effective 01/01/2021 through 01/03/2022.
Put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Okay, he's a constable out in
Thomas
district.
District.
Yeah, he got elected and was a little bit late reporting to me, so we had to have a waiting period on getting his bond approved.
I know.
He's a fellow previous law enforcement officer.
Yes,
as well.
yes.
Right.
He makes a fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I've known Danny a long time. He's a great guy.
Okay, we had a motion to approve, and we did have a second. Any other questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crosley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, post agenda.
I got one little small thing, sorry, I know. The generators, this is due to radios too, I meant to bring it up earlier, but the generators for the Russellville Tower site and the EOC. I would like to see us have a service contract with someone to maintain those, someone in the generator business. I only know of one company, and if anybody else knows of a different of a company to get a bid from, I know it's not very expensive, just have somebody come out every 6 months, but that is very, very important pieces of equipment to make sure they are operational at all times. So I'm meeting with somebody, I just want to tell y'all too, I'm meeting with somebody tomorrow at the ELC to give us a quote on maintaining those. So I might need 10:30, I think. So,
I'm working seconds, but I'll be there.
okay, so anyway, we just need, I mean, my personal opinion, you know, we need to make sure those are, I'm sure they're fine right now, they're operational. I don't know, but we know, I'd like somebody to sign off on that every quarterly or every 6 months to make sure that if we do have an outage of power, that our radios will be turned on by the generator. So, and if anybody has, you know, I've got the one company that I know because I deal with them at the school system. They maintain our generators. They know generators, all they do. But if anybody, Evapro, I think it's how you say it, Evapro or Evapar.
I do have another company out of Gilbert, that takes care of mine. They work with Logan, but they're generator dealers.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, Judge, if you want to get with that company and get them to quote it, that's fine. But I don't know those group of folk, but maybe you can get with Scotty and y'all can get them to come down and quote that on a. I mean,
Is that your personal one at home?
They are certified for tax with the generator.
Okay.
right. I don't know what brand we have. I think one's a Kohler and one's something else. I don't know if the other one's Generac or not, but. Both colors. Well, they might be, if they're certified in Generac, they could be certified in Kohler and all other stuff too, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, more quotes the better. But you know, I only deal with one company. I only know that one company, and it's not very expensive. You know, so we're talking less than a couple thousand a year. So.
So could you put the terms out there so we make sure we're quoting the same thing, so when the judge contacts you? What do you want to quote on? How often? You know.
So on a brand new.
Mechanism are we using?
On a brand new generator that's only like 2 years old, you know, I have it checked every 6 months, but it's brand new, great, you know, it's not, what we have is not just 2 years old, so we might want to do it every quarter, you know. So it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I'm not a generator expert, but I know that when you have systems that are very important, you need to make sure your generators are, you know, maintained. And I think in the past, we have, you know, had somebody go check on them and fill up with gas and check the battery and stuff. But I just feel better if somebody was checking more than just that, circuit boards and you know, to make sure it starts properly and look for error codes, and they know all that. So but as far as the term goes, with the age of ours, we might need to do it more than every 6 months. Like the one I have is 2 years old and it'll get checked every 6 months.
It's not very expensive service. Why wouldn't we do it for?
We can. I mean, I would probably agree with that because ours are a lot older than 2 years.
How many do we have? Two.
We've only got the one at the ELC and we got the one at the Russellville Tire site.
Well, we got one at jail too, but,
We got one okay, but I don't, does the jail, Phil may be having that, he may be having that maintained by somebody, I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
What does it do for jail? What does it run?
Probably his control room.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I didn't know.
I'm assuming if we got.
I should have known, but.
That it's there because we need electricity in case there's a problem, so we should have it on.
Yeah. Scotty, you don't have a generator, do you? Do you have a generator at your office? Okay.
I checked with Phil too, see,
Yeah.
who, been working on that.
So yeah, I mean, hey, I guess any generator we have in the county, we need to make sure we're getting them maintained and maintenance. 1, 2, 3. Well, I think so.
Dispatch has been there since 1999. And I mean, I do have someone who annually starts once a week, and I do have someone who comes, checks the oil, does stuff like that. But as far as a contract, I don't have a contract or someone who actually is. The one in dispatch is really old school. In fact, it doesn't even have a gas gauge on it. I stick.
Russell Paul been doing that one.
And then the road department, anytime they come out there, and, you know, they come and fill it up, they check it, stuff like that.
The one up there at the tire site, it's probably propane though, ain't it?
No, it's diesel.
Diesel.
Is Russell certified?
No.
He's a certified electrician.
He's an electrician.
Right. But he's not a,
But
he's not a generator. Yeah.
Okay.
But he's just been.
Okay, so your suggestion then is we put out proposals for,
Do it that way. Yeah.
full-time year service or full-time year.
To inspect and services needed.
Inspect and service our generators that we have in the county. Pending, you know, at least the two, and Phil, if he doesn't have somebody who's taking care of that and, you know, himself. I haven't seen, I've never seen anything come across.
Well, I think, maybe, you've done it maybe through Stuart Ritchie or.
Oh, okay.
or-
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
done it themselves, you know what I'm talking
Gotcha,
about.
gotcha. Yeah. Is that something we want to put out for bid, you think, or just get quotes on it since it's?
Well, 30,
Yeah, it's not very expensive. It's gonna be under $5,000, you know, I mean.
Should be
Well,
less than
hopefully.
that.
Yeah, it'd be even less than that. Like I said, I've got
I
one.
might get certified.
I've got one that's $1,200 a year. It's twice a year to check it, so we'll.
Does the schools have?
okay, Scotty,
I
if you
got
get
one
that
server
name and
keeps all
address
servers
to
going
us,
on
we'll
the
send
internet.
them a letter. Do what? Okay. And if y'all can think of anybody else that might be certified, you know, more quotes we can get, the better.
That's right, that's right. Sorry to spring it on you, but I've just been, made me think of it because there was a code on the one up at the tire site and they've had it cleared a couple times, so I want to make sure that's getting checked. So.
Derek, you know anybody certified?
No, sir, other than what he's recommended. Nobody, you know, local or club, you know.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to adjourn. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Yes. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.